What is up, Kings? This is going to be part 3 of the Dexter Morgan King of the Single Mother video. That's what sparked all of this. And and I'm sorry, guys, that I've had to do part 1, part 2, part 3. Like I said in the first video, sometimes I can't record a single video in one shot, and I have to splice it up, and because I'm not near my computer, therefore I have to record on the phone just to get the content out there and the idea out there. But again, when I start recording, I can't always finish the entirety of the video. So, and some of these topics are extremely dense and require a few different aspects of it. So I've talked about the negative side of being with a single mother. Okay, now, and I talked about the Dexter Morgan from the show Dexter that premiered on Showtime. If you guys haven't watched it, I talked about, I used him as a case study for a fictional single mother expectation and kind of gradually how it happens. And suffice it to say, the summary of it is you enter into a relationship with a single mother, and at first you're just seeing the single mom. But as time goes on, especially if you're entering into a sexual relationship, but not always, but I would say definitely and especially if you are entering into a sexual relationship with said single mother, the single mom, as she gives up her main commodity vis-a-vis her sexuality, her for lack of a better term, vagina, as she gives that up, she begins to see what she can get back and in return. And this is the thing, guys, that is normal. That between men and women, there is a give and a take. And I wouldn't say that it's like completely transactional, because it's not, but at the very least, it's partly transactional. You know, both sides have ideals and motivations and things that they are looking for and desiring out of the partner, which is why they need each other. And this is why, and I wouldn't say that I'm a full-blown complementarian as opposed to an egalitarian, but I do think that men and women within their God-given design do, for the most part, complement each other and require the positives that each one has. So it's normal. So as the relationship goes, and especially if the vagina is given up, the single mom, as time goes on, is going to want more and more vis-a-vis protection and provisions, as you can see with the example that I gave of Dexter with Rita, the character Rita. As the show progresses and his relationship with her progresses, she requires more and more from him, asking him to pick up her kids, asking for protection, and it goes on and on. So let's talk about, so you have this part 3. I want to talk about kind of the different viewpoints for the single mom aspect. So you have those like super hardcore red pillars like a Myron Gaines, who would say that under no circumstances can a single mom be taken seriously for a relationship. Under no circumstances can a man give a relationship, a long-term relationship, to a single mother. It's not worth it, and you will not get enough back in return. Okay, that is one side. Then I would say on the other, you have the people who have zero knowledge of the red pill and of these kind of intersexual dynamics. I would say that that's like the average man. And I want to speak on the average man here in a moment with regards to feminism. And this is an argument why feminists get it so wrong with regards to men and their motivations, which I will circle back to. But then you have the people in the middle who I would say are kind of like an Andrew Wilson. And I would say I probably do lean closer to this myself. I would say I'm somewhere between Myron and Andrew Wilson. That's where I'm at. And Andrew Wilson would say, yes, single moms do have a lot of baggage, and it's something that's not necessarily ideal if you were to put a traditional woman who's feminine, who does not have kids, versus all things being equal, versus a woman who does have kids, but is also feminine. They're both equal in everything, but they have kids. I think even Andrew would say that it is more ideal to choose the woman without kids. But with that said, because the society that has been created and the women have been incentivized to basically be single mothers, if we are going to reverse this trend, we are going to need men who are willing to take on that burden and responsibility. I hope I am summarizing his argument correctly, who are willing to take on that responsibility. Because at the end of the day, kids who have two parents are far better off than kids who are only raised by a single mother, as we are seeing with the type of society that we have, with all of these broken kids, especially broken men who really have no masculine ideals in their mind or framework because they have never seen it in practice. And so if we want to reverse this trend, there's going to have to be some men who are willing to take on that burden. And not only, and then there's the thing that I just said. And then on top of that, if you live in a monogamous society and you want a monogamous society, the stats bear it, or it's just simple mathematics. There's going to be some men whose marketplace value just is not good enough to get a woman who does not have kids, and they will have to settle for a woman who has kids. So there's that. Okay, so I want to circle back to the example that feminists get it all wrong. So, what underlines feminism is that men are these terrible, overbearing, overpowering, domineering creatures